The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, Nickel City Mafia viewers, fans, listeners, etc.? Tonight, I am unfortunately not going to be joined by our good friend Mike Thornton, the guy who typically hosts the show, my guy, my partner in crime. He actually threw his back out. And Mike, we're thinking about you. No, we know you're listening to us out there. We know you're in the comments section. We appreciate you for still joining us. Last I heard, he was on his back just trying to figure things out. Mike is like the Jordan Poyer of our show. So we're going to hold him out for tonight's game so he can be healthy for next game. So, Mike, love you. Hope you feel better. And hopefully you figure that out, because that is not fun. I could not even imagine, man. Let me tell you, anything back-related it's awful. I mean, it literally impacts every single thing you do on a daily basis. Mike was even saying it basically hard to even talk with a back injury like that from the sounds of it. So hope you get better, sir. But as I mentioned tonight, Jake Podger, myself, I will be hosting the show. I'm joined by Brett from the Go Bills podcast and Timmy Corks from our new upcoming show, Sabres Edge, which we're really excited about. That's going to be kicking off on Tuesday night. Is that correct, Timmy? Tuesday night?
Yeah, Tuesday night at 8:30. Me and Sam, the stat man, will be hosting the show every Tuesday night at 8:30 about the Sabres. So come on and join us if you want to learn. We got an upcoming season coming up we're thinking the playoff drop's ending this year.
I freaking love it, man. Well, I was talking about that hat prior to the show. It's a beautiful looking hat. And I might have to pay a visit to the Sabres store myself to get one, because that is hot. And they need to just bring back that logo like full time. That is the alternate, the goat head logo right now. But I think, I like the old school, obviously, blue and yellow, like that looks good, but nothing better than that black and red, man. The goat head unis are just clean as hell. But anyways, we're not here to totally talk about Sabres. We could talk a little Sabres, of course, but we just came off a monster victory, gentlemen. And let me tell you, there's not a whole lot of bad things that I could take away from this one. But Brett had a great idea. He's like, hey, let's do like just a quick segment. What are your biggest takeaways from the game? So I'm going to start with our boy Brett from the Go Bills podcast. Brett, how are you doing tonight? And you got to be feeling fantastic. You're down in Florida, not sure what the Miami Dolphins population looks like in your area, but you could wear that red and blue loud and proud tonight. What are your biggest takeaways from today's game?
Well, for me, I mean, I'm in Southwest Florida, so I'm on the other coast. So I'm not on the East Coast. I get to wear this thing loud and proud, be happy about it. And it's been, it's great to be a Bills fan right now. And one of the biggest takeaways I will take from this game is that the Bills can compete with anybody now. I'm not afraid to say that, I'm not worried about going up against the Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys, because our defense is legit. I'm going to tell you that right now. Doesn't matter who's out there for the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be legit. Now, we did lose probably for the whole entire season. It looks like it's going to be Tre'Davious White's going to be out for the season with the Achilles injury, which really does suck. But we got some playmakers that can step up, and it's next man up mentality, which I'm looking forward to. And we're going to see a new guy come out there in Kyer Elam, and hopefully he lights it up for the Buffalo Bills. But, I mean, you got to look at this roster and say, look at the depth that Brandon Beane has built. And it's incredible to see what they have done in the span of 6-7 years that they've been here. And we've really developed this roster to the deepest way that you could possibly imagine. And now we're at the point where we can compete with anybody. We just went up against our biggest task in the Miami Dolphins, and we showed that we're still one of the better teams in the NFL, if not the AFC East, which has kind of weakened over the last couple of weeks with the news of Aaron Rodgers going down and then Joe Burrow now starting 1-3. I mean, Kansas City is looking pretty good right now. They're up 17-0 on the New York Jets. But, I mean, it's really going to come down to Buffalo or Kansas City again for another chance to go to the Super Bowl, it looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when you think about it. I think a lot of teams have been just totally depleted from injuries. And unfortunately, as great of a day as it was today, poor Trey White, man. I feel so bad for him. He comes back, he works his ass off to get back into game shape, playing a pretty solid game today. I thought had a pick six, man. He just dropped it. But worked so hard to get back and goes out today with what looks like an Achilles injury, probably going to be out for the whole year, gets carted off. Hopefully there's good news, but it does not sound optimistic whatsoever. So yeah, it's crazy when you look at the landscape of the AFC right now. The Bengals, they look like a team just in total shambles right now. Just take a hard L to the Titans, 27-3. The Dolphins, I think, are a very good football team. And this was like our first true test of the season, just to kind of see like where we're at and kind of to get a gauge on how good of a team we actually have. And we rose to the occasion, man. I mean, it was a slugfest to start off the game, but after that, the defense really kicked in and the offense just rode us right to victory. Josh Allen with a perfect rating. I mean, what a freaking day from him. It was probably his best day as a pro. And, not anything bad that I can say about this offense. I mean, sure, there were a couple sacks that happened, but I think those sacks were actually smart plays taken by Josh Allen. He had to hold on to the football a little bit. Everyone was covered downfield. Instead of making a stupid play, he takes the sack, which that's growth right there. So as far as Josh Allen goes, this was his best game as a pro, in my opinion. And I am loving what I'm seeing from this offense. Ken Dorsey, shout out to him. He called himself one hell of a game. And shoot, guys, like I said, this is not a cakewalk by any means. This team that we played today, we will see them again probably in January. So I'm excited for it. I think the Bills definitely proved today that they are the best team in the AFC East. So pretty hard about it.
Jake, I'm going to stop you there because we will actually see them again in January. Don't get us wrong.
We literally will see them again.
We will see them in January. We're going to be down there for the game. We got Sean Kula from the Red, White, and Bills, and I will be down there for the game on the 7th. That's the last game of the year, but don't get me wrong. We might see him in the playoffs, though, which is going to be an interesting task, but we'll definitely see him in January down in Miami, which is going to be a fun game. If Bills Mafia is going down to the game, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to get to see everybody down there. We're going to try and get a little tailgate together with some Bills Mafia members and get that going too.
Hell yeah. And I know you guys will show out. That's going to be incredible. And I think that game will be for the division. I had a prediction going into that game. The Bills would be 13-3. The Finns would be 11-5. And Bills were, yeah, that's right. Bills were 12-4. Finns were 11-5. Whoever wins that game takes the division. I think that's still going to happen. So hopefully we actually don't have that many losses, but time will tell. Just want to get to the chat here, by the way. It's been blowing up a little bit. We got a lot of people out there watching. We appreciate the hell out of all you guys joining us tonight. My dad coming in early saying Buffalo is playing smart, taking what the D is giving them. Bills will be in first place after the Jets lose. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, you're seeing a level of Josh Allen that I don't think we've really seen before. It's his 6th season, and I think years past, kind of to start the year off, he was regressing back to that form, just kind of making the errant throws and trying to force stuff when he didn't need to. Today, and the last 2 games prior to this, he's been super clean as it could get, and just doing exactly that, taking what the defense gives him, throwing the underneath routes, and being smart with the football. It's beautiful to see. Mike's out there, as I mentioned, totally agree, Big Al. McDermott and Dorsey, great plans today, and of course the players executed to perfection. Absolutely, they did. Timmy's mic sounds great. Yeah, Timmy's got that Blue Yeti mic now. I was getting a little bit of static from him, so I told him to go on mute. But Timmy, just give us a little take on what you felt, how you felt the day went.
Yeah, kind of piggyback off of Brett. This is probably one of the most refreshing wins the Bills have had, probably since the 2020 season. And I know the Bills had some blowout wins last year with the Rams and the Titans, but I never really felt like it was a complete 3 phases game. You're finally seeing the Bills put together a 3-phase game where they actually have a solid defense, solid offense. And man, even their special teams were looking good too. Like hats off to Tyler Bass. I think he was AFC Special Teams Player of the Month, if I'm correct, or the week.
Yep.
Yeah. He had that. Was perfect on the day. Almost had that one doinker in there, but still, got that in. He's looking great overall. On paper, I told you, Jake, before the season, this is a more talented team than last season's team, and I think they're coming in with a chip in their shoulders right now, just because they're kind of the forgotten team. Josh Allen in the NFL Top 100 wasn't even the second quarterback listed. Jalen Hurts is number 2. Are you kidding me? That's a bit of a joke. If you watch Jalen Hurts today, he is not deserving to be the number 2 quarterback. There's a tier level, and it's Josh Allen and it's Patrick Mahomes. And right now, when it comes to tier level NFL teams, the Bills are a tier 1 team right now. Kansas City and San Francisco are right there. Kansas City, I'm a little iffy on right now. They're not putting up a 3-phase game, but the Bills are definitely one of the top teams in the NFL right now. So it feels great. Don't want to get too confident. Love the responses of the team after the game. It's on to Jacksonville now. It's time to focus on that.
I love that, man. 24-hour rule. You could celebrate a little bit, but get back to work right away. They're already probably in the lab. Jacksonville's already out there in London. They played a good game today. Beat the Falcons a little bit, but I think it's a very beatable team for us. So obviously don't ever overlook teams, but I'm actually, kind of based on what Jacksonville's done this year, I'm a little underwhelmed. I thought they were going to be a lot better than what they are right now, but hey, we always struggle against them. So it is not a game to overlook. And I'm sure Sean McDermott going to celebrate this one a little bit and get right back into the lab probably early in the morning. So boys, I just want to cheers you both. I just brought out a blue light here. Still trying to get that blue sponsorship, the Labatt sponsorship, try to get that going. We've been trying to do that for quite some time. Took a little break, took a little hiatus, but we got to celebrate with a little victory beer after that one. So cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
And by the way, our Sunday night shows, it's our Sunday night, not tailgate, but it's our Sunday night special where we have 50-cent wings and $1 drinks. So be sure to tip your staff, be sure to tip your bartenders, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, this only exists in our universe. You're not going to find 50-cent wings anywhere else, nor are you going to find $1 drinks anywhere else. So what better way to celebrate than with us? Pop open a drink of your own, and we appreciate all of you guys watching. And be sure to drop a nickel on the subscribe button and a like as well if you are enjoying our content. So getting back to these comments, started reading a few of them. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Ryan, let's go Buffalo. Ryan, were you at the game today? The crowd was absolutely electric. It was hilarious. I was actually texting Timmy. I was texting you too, Brett. I could hear the stadium crowd from my house. I'm about 7 to 10 minutes away, depending on what time you go. But that's how far away my house is from the stadium. It's not far. It's straight down Southwestern. But, it's far enough where you shouldn't be hearing any noise. And I heard crowd noise literally from my house. I've heard so many stories. You could hear it over the television. That crowd was absolutely thumping. And our boy Sean Cool was out there. I know he's on his way back right now, back to Utica, made the trip over this weekend and had a chance to experience that firsthand. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get him on the show tonight, but it sounded like it was a blast, man. Antonio, good to see you, sir. Good to see you, sir. He says, get well soon, Mike. Go Bills, go Sabres. What were we going to say, Brett? Sorry.
So I was going to say about Sean Cool, I had a chance to talk with him on the phone a little bit. He was telling me about his seats, and his friend that he got the seats from that holds the season tickets. He said that he was under the shaded part in the stadium near the suites, which is great for him. And he said that, he wasn't in the sun whatsoever. He said the crowd noise was incredible. He was telling me all about the experience, and he said that it was a blast, and he wishes he could go back when it was a little colder because he was right underneath the warmers. So I was like, damn, that would have been pretty cool, but he was saying how much fun he had. He said he enjoyed it so much. And it took him 45 minutes just to get out of the parking lot and get to the interstate. So he's running a little bit late. He said that the line was incredibly bad to get out of the stadium, which, that's how it is when you go to Bills games. You got to take the good with the bad. And sometimes the bad things are that there's going to be a lot of people that you're going to be stuck in traffic with. But what better fan base to be around than Bills Mafia that's going to be going off? A lot of the cars go, and you're going to be going off the whole entire time. You're going to hear the hey the whole entire time you're going down the road, all the way until you get to the interstate. And then you're going to see a bunch of Bills Mafia members with you on the interstate, taking the drive all the way back to their homes. So I'd take it any single time that you can because, this crowd was electric. It was probably the loudest I've ever heard it on TV. And it was fun to watch from 1,200 miles away. I'll tell you that. It was great to watch. And I don't think there's any better fan base in the NFL than the Buffalo Bills fan base.
Dude, 100%. And Tyreek Hill, listen, respect to him as a football player, but what he said about Bills Mafia coming into this game, what a mistake. Saying that it's just like any other place to play, basically saying our fans weren't anything special and the team, just an okay team, not a great team. Well, I think we shut them up quite a bit, and we limited Tyreek today. There were some opportunities for the Dolphins. That pre-snap motion too. I get so freaking like on edge. I'm on the tip of my seat every single time because I already know something big is going to happen, or they're trying to disguise something or try to run someone wide open, and it is a little nervous. You get a little nervous when you see that. And they do pre-snap motion every freaking play, but something is being drawn up most of the time. And I'll tell you this, Mike McDaniel schemes up a hell of a game. But we did a good job again of limiting Tyreek Hill, and he got a little banged up for a hot second there. Glad there wasn't a significant injury, but yeah, I'm glad that we could kind of clown him a little bit on his comments and shut him up for a second at least. So we got a couple other people in here. Jessica saying hello, everyone. Hello, Jessica. Good to see you again. We got John. They were at the game to support Josh and the team. Hell yeah. And Jessica also saying, didn't a few of you want Kaiir Elam to be traded away? So we were only saying that just because he was a healthy scratch. And we're like, you're already losing value on this guy. If you're not going to use him, you may as well trade him. I love Kaiir Elam. I predicted he would be picked in the first round by the Bills last year. And it pisses me off that he didn't play in this game because the press man scheme, listen, it's not our normal scheme, but for this Dolphins team, we sure did a little bit of it, and I think he would have been perfect for it, just bumping these receivers off their routes and disrupting the timing routes. I think now we're not going to have any option but to play Kaiir Elam. So really excited for him. It's an unfortunate situation with Trey, but a great opportunity for Kaiir Elam. Timmy, how are we feeling about that? I see a little puzzled look on your face. Do you like the obviously with Kaiir, do you feel confident with him coming back in and potentially replacing Trey White as the other corner, or is it going to be Dane Jackson?
I feel like everyone's forgetting about Dane Jackson. Jackson made some solid plays in the preseason. He's a very solid player. He's actually making plays today. I know everyone wants to move on to Kaiir Elam just because he was the first-round pick. And trust me, I don't have anything against Kaiir Elam. He played solid last year for the team, but I'm not forgetting about Dane Jackson. You have two solid corners in Christian Benford. Dane Jackson came in, made some plays for the team too. If Kaiir gets his opportunity to come in and play, that's great. He showed that he's more of a playmaker. He's going to be more of a risk taker if that's something that Sean McDermott wants. But right now, you got Dane Jackson in there. He's going to be the guy that's going to be starting opposite of Christian Benford. And I don't see that changing anytime soon for Kaiir Elam just because he has been scratched for the first 4 games of the season. So, has he proven himself yet to the coaching staff? I'm not sure yet. He's going to have to show that with his opportunities when he gets in the field in the next coming games. But right now, my mind's on Dane Jackson and Christian Benford, just kind of locking things down, playing that zone defense that, the Bills covet right now.
Yeah, for sure. Shame on me, too, because I always do forget about Dane, man. He was out there. He played himself a hell of a game today. The one play specifically against Tyreek Hill covered him as good as you could have. I mean, it was man on man, and he did a tremendous job today. So shout out to him. I do feel comfortable with him and Christian Benford being our 2 starting corners. But now I feel like you have to at least activate Kaiir Elam. He's going to be playing in some capacity, whether it's specials or just a rotational guy at the cornerback position. But the only thing with the trading thing, again, it was only because he's been a healthy scratch and maybe you can get some value out of it because if he's not going to play, then why have him on the roster, So, but good point, Jessica. You did call us out on that, which is appropriate, but we had to justify why we said it. And Mike said the same thing, wanted to see Elam, Jessica, but not this way. But it is possibly his time. We'll see. Yep, and Mike saying the same thing there.
That was actually me that said that. So that comment was from Nickel City Mafia.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm actually the one that's commenting on Nickel City Mafia. Mike's the one that's going to be Bills fan CA. So I'm the one that's commenting on that. I was actually explaining it because the last show that we did, and I wanted to just get into it a little bit. We mentioned about talking about Kaiir Elam and how him being a healthy and active scratch is just not good for him and how we wanted him to be traded because it's just not fair for him. It's not fair for the organization because he's such an asset for the Buffalo Bills that we have. and we invested a first-round pick in him. And if he's not going to play, then we should possibly trade him or find him a new home to go to so that he's not wasting his career. Because if he's a first-round pick and we can't get any value out of him, then we need to trade him and get at least something for him, maybe a third-round pick, fourth-round pick. But now with the injury to Tre'Davious White, this helps him so much because now he can stay with the Buffalo Bills. He can grow with the team. He's going to be in a position where he can now learn the zone coverage. But I mentioned it later in the chat that this is a situation where you're probably going to see a lot of Dane Jackson. And if Buffalo wants to go with that press man coverage situation, you're probably going to see a little bit more of Kaiir Elam being played. But he just, for some reason, doesn't fit the system that Buffalo is trying to run. And if we can develop him into being that zone coverage guy, then he's going to be incredible, because what he did last year, he didn't do anything bad. He did some good things. A couple of interceptions that he had, one against Tua, another one against the Chiefs as well. And he's doing his thing. He's making tackles, doing everything that you could possibly imagine. But I think that one of the things that Buffalo is trying to focus with him on, and maybe this is something that we could start a debate on, is next year we're going to probably lose either Micah Hyde or maybe even Jordan Poyer. One of the two of them possibly could leave the team. I think with Jordan Poyer, even though he signed a 2-year contract, the Bills could look to start fresh at the safety position. You got to remember that these safeties that we have on the roster, they've been together for 7 years. So time will tell if there's a possibility that the Bills decide, hey, listen, we need to get younger at the safety position. We need to spend some money on guys like Gabe Davis or some of the other free agents that we're going to have. And Buffalo could look to move Kaiir Elam to the safety position, which is somewhere where I think that he would strive in. And maybe it's a move that we do similar to what Aaron Williams did at the beginning of his career, where he was a quarterback and didn't really work out for him. And then they move him to safety, which is, I think, would fit his scheme, and he would actually fit in this the area that Buffalo needs to run, because he is a little handsy with, when it comes to getting his hands on the receivers. But I think he would fit in the safety position very well for the Buffalo Bills. That's probably where Christian Benford would have ended up if Kaiir Elam would have beaten him out in training camp.
Yeah, no, you're spot on with that. I think that's actually not a bad idea whatsoever. We tried doing we did do that with Cam Lewis too. So Cam Lewis can play both as well, but I don't know if he's at that same level. He's a really good special teams guy, but as far as a starter goes, I don't know if he's going to be that guy. Pretty cool to see DeMar Hamlin suited up today. Yeah. Now, he wasn't in there much. He didn't really play on defense at all. But just to see him in full uniform, that had to be something for the crowd to get pretty juiced up about. So that was pretty awesome. I think with him, it's going to be a slow transition back into, playing with us and doing his thing out there. But you love to see it, man. Yeah, I think Jessica said it very well too. Having a guy like Kaiir Elam to be a rotational guy or a guy that you can plug and play. He's a first-round pick. He started games last year, his rookie season, and played pretty well. I think that's a great thing to have. And luckily we do, because, man, these guys are dropping like flies out there. Then I see Taron Johnson go down. I'm like, oh, my gosh, another one? They're secondary? Luckily, it was just a cramp, so that's good. Micah Hyde did go into the tent as well. I think it was a hamstring injury.
And then Benford went down with the shoulder injury.
He went down early.
He came back into the game, luckily, which was great.
Yeah, for real. I was a little nervous about that, too. I'm like, this did not look good. He was down for a while, so you expect something like that to be a lot worse than it actually is, but it didn't even look like he was taped up. Maybe it was underneath the shoulder pads, but, yeah, it looks like everything's okay there, so that's good. Let's see here. Going back to some other comments. Jessica saying, I'm thinking they might start Elam since both Benford and Jackson both play special teams. If Jackson and Elam are equal, if Jackson is better, it will be Jackson. Yeah, I just think because so today they had no choice to go to Dane Jackson because Kaiir was inactive. So that is a good point. Kaiir Elam, from what I've heard, doesn't love playing special teams, and that might be a reason as to why he's been a healthy scratch. I don't know if that's just something that it's just a rumor, it's just swirling around out there, but I've read on some forums that maybe that's part of the reason as to why he hasn't been playing at all. And Sean McDermott, you know him. He wants a complete football player out there. So if that is the case, yeah, obviously you gotta factor in the special teams value. I think he can do it. I mean, he's fast as hell. He's physical. He can get down there, maybe even be a gunner of sorts. But I don't know. I'm not sure what they're gonna do there. This would be an interesting take for sure. I think Dane, at least, he has experience in this defense as well. Both of them have experience. So it's really what you want to do. You want to play with a guy that's a little more physical, or you want to play a guy that is more of a traditional zone corner. So time will tell.
Though?
What's that, Timmy?
Do you think this is really a debate, though? I think Dane Jackson's just going to be slotted in as the starter.
I mean, with how he played today.
I mean, Elam's been scratched for 4 games. He's going to be the backup if anyone gets injured. I don't think he's not going to come jump in a starter role. I understand that the other 2 play special teams, but you can have a guy sit on a bench and wait until, if something happens. But, it's going to be Dane Jackson and Christian Benford going forward.
I agree with that. It probably will be. Yeah. Let's see. Sean said he had to use hand signals with Terrell. Yeah, I just heard that actually in his press conference, basically coming out and saying the crowd was so loud. It was the loudest crowd he's ever been involved with, during an actual football game. So it was hard to get the signals out to the middle linebacker, Terrell Bernard, because it was just couldn't hear anything. It's crazy, man. The crowd just drowned everything out, and you could hear it on TV too. It was freaking wild. Back to the 90s playoff crowds. Yeah, I can't even imagine what those were like. Unfortunately, I just missed the boat on that stuff. So this is really exciting for me because it's the first time in my lifetime that I've been able to experience this. I've been to some great Bills games, but today, man, I wasn't even at the game, but literally you could hear the crowd from my house. That's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We got Brian Label coming in here. Brian, you got a big game tomorrow night against Seattle. Hopefully you guys get a big win. That'll be very interesting. Saquon Barkley probably not going to be playing in that game, it looks like. Going to be out for probably a few more weeks at least.
Yeah.
The latest update. And we got a lot of people in the chat here. I freaking love that. This is the exact reason why you never trade away a good player under a rookie contract. Yes, agreed, Jessica. Absolutely. You got to keep that. You got to keep the depth. And lucky for us, too, Sean McDermott, we haven't really, we talk about it here and there, but it's unbelievable how well he develops these late round corners. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it, to be quite honest with you. He started as a DB coach, and that's kind of his forte. He played safety in college too, but it is absolutely incredible to see what he has done with these late round corners. Dane Jackson and Christian Benford being our 2 starters probably now moving forward too. It's crazy to see.
Just the late round talent that we've had overall. You look at some of the other players that have left the Buffalo Bills and were pretty good starters on not only on the Buffalo Bills, but on other teams. You look at Wyatt Teller, who goes over to the Cleveland Browns, and then you add in Isaiah Hodgins for the New York Giants. We've hit on some late round picks over the last couple of years, which is incredible. And it tells you how much the scouting department of the Buffalo Bills is doing a good job.
Matt Milano was a 5th round pick. Crazy. Yeah.
Christian Benford, 6th round pick.
Christian Benford. The list goes on and on and on. It's you look at all of our late round picks, they're actually playing better than our early round picks for the most part, outside of Josh, of course. But speaking of, I do want to talk a little bit about this. RX Fly Fishing coming in, talking about the Bills D-line. One of our first round picks that played a hell of a day today outside of Josh Allen was Greg Rousseau. My God, man, he looks like a man possessed out there. I think he's really starting to come into his own. Timmy, how are we feeling about that D-line as a whole, and how about Mr. Rousseau?
So I believe I said before the season that Greg Rousseau was a ghost when Von Miller was out of the lineup last year. I'm going to eat some crow because he's definitely showing up right now. The Bills D-line just in general has just been showing up. AJ Epinesa, he's showing up as his contract year, but, he's showing up big time. The biggest thing, too, that you notice about the Bills, especially against Tua, is their length. Getting their arms out there, blocking passes, blocking all the passing lanes that Tua can look into. Because Tua, for an athletic guy, he's not very mobile. So he kind of has to sit within that pocket, and the Bills D-line is able to get their arms up there, flush him out, and chase him down. And, there's not even one bad thing that you can say about the Bills D-line. They have looked legit since the second game of the season. Even the first game of the season, they looked legit. But they just kind of, pinned their ears back, and they've just been, I don't know if it's been McDermott with the play calling, but they've just been nasty. They've been taking over games. Leonard Floyd, he's been a revelation for the team. And then I can't wait until Von Miller comes in, just because this D-line is going to be scary. And, Kingsley Jonathan, look at him today too. He was making plays too. So I don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to be what's going to happen when Von Miller gets activated? Who's going to be leaving? But I don't think it's going to be anyone on that defensive line, just because you're keeping guys fresh, and they are. I mean, besides Josh Allen, they are the team right now. That defense is. That defensive line is setting the tone right now for the team, and allowing the corners look as good as they are, and the defensive backs too.
Bingo. You hit the nail on the head with that one too. I think especially moving forward with Trey White being out, that's going to be huge for us, just getting pressure on the quarterback. And talking about another first-round pick, a guy that we both kind of been critical on too, Eddie Oliver, again, showing up. The last 3 games, actually really, this entire season, he's looked great, man. He is a man possessed out there. That freaking swim move he put on Isaiah Wynn, just running free. I mean, this guy's making plays. He's finding ways to get involved, and he's doing the dirty work as well. It's a beautiful thing to see. He registers another sack today, 2, 3 tackles, a TFL. I mean, this is just an awesome thing, man. I am so happy with how this has kind of panned out. And I don't know if Brandon Beane's a wizard or if he foresaw any of this, but it is truly incredible what we're doing. Another healthy scratch that we really didn't touch on at all this show just yet, but Poona Ford inactive again. I was kind of scratching my head at that one. I didn't understand that, but then I did see that Connor Williams was going to be out and Liam Eichenberg was going to be playing center. So maybe they felt like, hey, maybe we'll put some more depth on the outside instead of the inside. These guys can handle it interior wise. So, Brett, what's your take on that? You expecting to see Poona Ford in the future here? I mean, what's going on with that? Why has he been a healthy scratch?
Yeah, I've heard a couple of things. And I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard that Poona is dealing with a little bit of an injury as well. Some of his numbers haven't been great as well. I looked back to the first game that he played against the Jets and then the second game as well. And it just seems like he's not playing very well in the system. Could possibly be a situation where Poona Ford might be off the roster pretty soon. Maybe a trade or something like that. I'm just predicting this based off of what I've heard from some rumors going around the Buffalo Bills. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. You got to remember, though, he is on a 1-year contract, a little bit of guaranteed money that's in place, but the Bills could move on from him. And I think they have some good starters in Daquan Jones, who had a pretty darn good game as well.
Killed it.
And then you also have Tim Settle, who made a couple of good tackles in the game as well. And you add in Ed Oliver and this Jordan Phillips, too, who's healthy and back to a similar Jordan Phillips that we saw a few years ago, which is great to see. And this might be a situation where Poona Ford ends up going over to another team and we trade and get a late round pick for him. But I don't love the trade ideas. Like I said, I don't want to trade these guys because they do have a lot of value for the Bills. These are depth pieces that we can keep around. I wouldn't love for that to happen, but you got to remember, guys, and I'm just throwing out these ideas. Don't get me wrong. I'm just giving you ideas of what could happen. These trade talks that I'm saying and everything, these are just ways for the Buffalo Bills to gain some capitalization in the near future. We need to build this roster up and continue to build the roster up. And certain ways that we're going to have to do that is by getting more draft picks so that we can move up in the draft. You got to remember that this is going to be a year where Buffalo is going to be picking pretty late in the draft. And if you want to move up in the draft, then Buffalo is going to have to make some moves and get some picks back because we've made some trades over the last couple of years as well. We got to remember the Nyheim Hines trade. There's a couple of other trades that we did like this year where we traded for Dalton Kincaid. There's a couple of other trades that we've had so far. So we need to gain some draft capital and be able to move up in the draft a little bit to get the guy that we want. Maybe there's a guard or there's a tackle or some type of situation where there's a guy that we really want in the draft and we want to move up and we can use some draft capital to get him. Because if that's the way that Buffalo wants to run things, and damn well, I'm going to say it right now before anybody gets pissed off at me, Brandon Beane is one of the greediest GMs I've ever seen when it comes to the freaking draft. He loves to move up. It happens every single year. Go back and look at it. He's had 7 drafts so far. How many times has he moved up? 5 of 7 times. Okay?
Yep.
So let's just look at him and say, hey, he's probably going to move up in the draft. And there's situations where he wants to move up. And we got to use some of the draft capital to be able to move up in the draft to find a guy that can fit this roster and doesn't get picked up, because maybe it's going to be a wide receiver or another playmaker for the Buffalo Bills. And if we don't get that pick, maybe we lose out on him.
It's well said, Brett. Yeah, and it's crazy to even be talking about the draft right now. We're not even in that phase. You know who is, though, is our boy Anthony. Probably down real bad right now. You got an update on that score, the Chiefs-Jets game?
So right now it is in a commercial break. It was 17-2. They did get a safety. The Jets got a safety. That's the last update that I have.
It's 20-12.
20-12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Jets are actually playing right now.
So I do want to say this real quick because I feel like this is important to even mention. I mean, this game that we're watching here, the national media is all over it, not only because of Taylor Swift being at the game. Aaron Rodgers is also at the game too, which is great to see. He's on crutches, which sucks, but the national media is all about Taylor Swift. The sales of Chiefs tickets have gone up tremendously, 400% that they've gone up. That's not just the jersey sales that are happening with Travis Kelce, but Chiefs tickets are going up 400%. Incredible number.
Wild.
Yeah. It's cheaper to go to an NFL game than to go to a Taylor Swift concert, but her tour does begin in a couple of weeks, guys. Just remember that tour
You going
to
to any shows, Brett?
No, but I do have a fiance that's trying to go to a show. Don't get me wrong. She's trying to get to the Miami show that's coming up. We're trying to see if we can figure out how we can get her in there, but we'll see if that happens. Maybe that's going to be something that happens in the near future.
Maybe an anniversary gift or something for your 1 year. It's going to be a while probably before you can even get those tickets. So
right now, I'm going to tell you how much the tickets are for the tour in Miami.
Oh,
the tickets that I can find, you will not imagine, $1,200 a piece.
Yikes! You're probably not even talking good seats. That's probably like your nosebleeds. You're looking down. That's crow's net. Wow, that's rough, man. Yeah, absolutely insane. You're probably better off going to a Chiefs game and see if you can spot her up there.
You might as well.
I will say this: I do think it is a win for the NFL because it's bringing more viewers in, which is going to increase the cap space. Now, I will say this, you're bringing them in for probably the wrong reasons. You want to be talking about football. I don't care about celebrity gossip and all this other stuff. So I'm not about that part of it, but I am a part of hey, bring some more exposure to the league, the Shield. It's the greatest game on the face of the earth. So might as well have more people starting to love it.
Does the NFL need any more exposure?
They don't. But, hey, why?
I've been over the Kelseys since before the season even started, with their podcast always being highlighted, them constantly on commercials, and now we got this whole Taylor Swift thing. I was over Taylor Swift back in June. This is just hell for me right now. I can't stand this right now. I hope this relationship just burns down in a couple of weeks, so it just makes my life so much better. But that's just me. Keep on going, guys.
So Mike, I want you to clip that audio. We're gonna make that a short right there with Timmy's face in it.
I'll tell you this, though. I think it's great for the NFL. I think it's good for the business side of everything. I do hope that they do work out because I think they're an awesome couple. I hate this part, though. Like you just said, Timmy, I hate the fact that they're on all these commercials and everything. But I will tell you this, though. I love that the national attention is no longer on our Buffalo Bills. We're the sleeper team right now, and it's great. Nobody's talking about Josh Allen. Nobody's talking about this or that. Josh is getting a sprinkle of Pepsi commercials and Doritos commercials and
those are fun.
Verizon commercials. He's doing these little commercials and everything, which is great. I'm glad to see him do that. You take what you can get. You're a brand. You take what you can get. But the Bills are flying under the radar this year, and it makes me so happy right now. I love that the national media is going after Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Put the pressure on them. Let's see how it works out for them. But now we can focus on the Buffalo Bills and how we're going to be a good team this year. We can fly under the radar, get into the playoffs, do our thing, and just be the team that we are. We're just going to keep Buffalo a secret, like Buffalo Fanatics says all along. But I will tell you this much, though. It's great to get some of the Taylor Swift photos and everything on the TV screen and not have to pay for it, because it makes me happy and I don't have to pay for all that. And we get some free songs. I just got a couple songs before the show even began. There's a couple of songs that came on from Taylor Swift that they're putting on the TV, and they're doing like free publicity for her tour that's coming up and everything. I'm like, hey, that's great for me. I'm not gonna pay anything for tickets. You know, my fiance might, but I'm not paying for it. But I get
Hold her
to
off a little bit longer, at least, you know.
Yeah, I get to see her for free on TV. It's great. So, you know,
just have your fiance put it on the wedding registry for Taylor Swift tickets. Someone will get
there you go. There you go.
It might be on the Amazon wish list. We'll see how that works. But Samuel's begging us to quit talking about Taylor Swift and move on.
Sammy V. Yeah, I
agree.
We're far behind on the comments here. Sammy V coming in hot. Thank you, Sam, for watching. Appreciate the hell out of you. So Sam is my boss, Brett. If you ever come up to Buffalo for a game, that is where we're going to be tailgating. We're going to be tailgating at my office. We're right down the street from the stadium, both the new stadium and the old stadium. I could say that now because the new one's being constructed. But we do a hell of a tailgate out there. And shout out to Sammy V for always making it run real smoothly. Shout out to him for all the bourbon, for all the drinks, for all the food. It's a beautiful time. And I will show you a good time when you come up here for your next Buffalo Bills game. I promise you that.
Definitely, man. We got to make it happen because, you know, I can't wait for the next Bills game that I get to go to. Hopefully, Timmy, you get to be there. Hopefully, Jake gets to be there. I would love to see Sean make the drive from Utica all the way over and just have a guys' day where we can all drink some beer, smash some tables, and hang out with Bills Mafia just like it should be.
Now we're talking, baby. Love it. Brian Label saying it's realistic that we could win our next 7 games and build some great momentum. 100% agree. Yeah, I mean, it does. Now, this is going to be kind of interesting. We're going to be going across the pond to London this upcoming week here. Obviously, Jacksonville's been there for a week already now, so a little bit of a disadvantage at that, but I think the Bills can handle it. But I think this will be a very good test for them, go through a little bit of adversity, obviously kind of being dealt the raw hand on this side of things. But, yeah, I 100% agree. I think there's a very good possibility of that, Brian. Sam saying, thank Tyreek Hill for giving them extra motivation. Yeah, he absolutely did. We talked about that a little bit, coming out with those clown comments. Listen, I'm not the biggest Tyreek Hill fan, but as a football player, he's one of the best out there. There's no denying that. And we held him in check today. It was a beautiful thing. And how about this? I think this was one thing that they highlighted prior to the game. We talked a little bit about it too, just the coaching matchup in general. Sean McDermott, man, putting his nuts out there, right? Saying he's going to take over the defensive play calling. And really, this is the year that is going to show, hey, is this Sean McDermott's fault, or is this, is he scapegoating Leslie Frazier? Is this really all on him? What's the defense going to look like? And it's looked fantastic. So couldn't be happier with that. He called a hell of a game today, and that's a really good offense that we went up against. To limit them to 20 points and to do the things we did today, pretty impressive. And what a game for Eddie Oliver. Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. We had 4 sacks today, as John said. When Armstead went out, the game was over. Yeah, that was tough to see. Is there an update on Terran Armstead? Anything you get hear about that or no? Didn't look good. He was limping. I mean, he could walk, but he was struggling getting off the field. He went right into the tunnel immediately.
So let me see if I can get an update on it. It is a knee injury for him.
Okay. Yeah, and he's struggled with that, man. He's had a few knee injuries in his career, and it's been tough. Hate to see that. I get the feeling Milano was deferring to Edmonds and is now free to just play. I 100% agree. I think, with how both the linebackers have been playing, they've been playing extremely free, just out there doing their thing, running sideline to sideline, see ball, hit ball carrier, basically playing that type of game, and it's been a beautiful thing. Their instincts are incredible. They both are absolute ball players. I mean, they are not afraid to get a little dirty. They're filling the holes. They're doing a great job out there. And again, both of them with a phenomenal day today. Terrell Bernard with a fumble recovery, Matt Milano with a forced fumble, and Terrell almost with another interception. Freaking incredible, man. Nicky Smalls out there. What's up, brother? You could probably hear the noise from freaking Canada, I bet. I don't know. I don't know if we covered that or not. I didn't even say something. I think I did mention in our group chat something about that, but Hell yeah. Thanks for joining, man. And Naquan did well. Work will be so much better. Yes, the vibe in general, when the Bills win, it does set the tone for the week. And let me tell you, it makes things a whole hell of a lot better. My Monday morning is so much better after a Bills victory on a Sunday. Saying Ford's an insurance policy. Yep, absolutely. Brett wants to trade everyone, Mike says. I don't know about that. I mean, you have
Not
mentioned several
whatsoever.
trades this show, though, so.
Not whatsoever. Depth pieces, if we can get a little bit out of them. So I think of things like, I'm a Bills fan, don't get me wrong. I'm also a Rays fan, and I've watched the way that their organization has moved players throughout the years. And
Yeah.
it seems like when a player gets down to like their last year of their contract, the Rays always move them for, some type of deal, and they get the best of those deals. And I'm looking at next season for the Tampa Bay Rays, and I shouldn't be looking at them, but this is off topic a little bit, but it also is on topic. The Rays have some players that are pretty good, some good pitchers that they have right now. They have Shane McClanahan, who's going to be out for the year with Tommy John surgery. They also have a guy named Tyler Glasnow, who was a Cy Young pitcher a couple of years ago. And he's really good. 6'8" guy, can throw the baseball really well. Came off of Tommy John surgery this year, has been electric for the Tampa Bay Rays. He signed a 2-year contract for, I think it was about like $30 million or something like that. Next year's contract is going to be $25 million hit for the Tampa Bay Rays, which is almost rare to see that the Rays would decide to pick up that option. They don't like to pick up those
big pay guys.
They're not big pay guys. So for the Tampa Bay Rays, they always seem to, like, when the contracts get high and the numbers get high, they move these guys, get good deals, and get good players in return, and get young depth pieces that they can build their roster around. That's why they're one of the best teams in terms of their farm system between single A, double A, triple A. They built their team from the young, talented players that you can bring up in a few years to now they have a veteran roster that could take them all the way to the World Series, but they just got to spend a little bit more money and get some hitters and be able to figure things out and to be able to put runs on the board, but they can also pitch. So I'm going to bring it back to the NFL in these terms. The Bills have a good offense right now. They have a good defense. They have some depth pieces as well. They just need to build on this and keep it going so that we can continue to have success for years to come, and we can have a dynasty much like we saw with the New England Patriots for 20 years. I want to keep this dynasty alive of going to the playoffs every year and getting extra games in the year because I don't want it to end in January. I want it to end in February.
Yeah, dude, it's just a full-on celebration, especially after every win. So I never want this to end. It's such a beautiful thing. When football season's over, I'm just sad. Like, it's a dark, dark cloud over my life. And listen, I love my wife, love my kid, but when football's not in the picture, it's tough. Listen, I'll be honest with you. It is a big piece of my heart, man.
Yep.
So the
100%.
Buffalo Bills are part of my heartbeat. I'm just going to say it right now. I freaking love this team to death, and it's so much fun to watch. So absolutely 100% agree with that. Mike with a question here. Do you think Von plays week 5? Now, they are saying he's going to start practicing this week. So chances of him playing in London, what do you guys think? Timmy, what do you think?
So I don't believe he'll be coming back in London. I think it's going to take him a little bit just to get into playing shape. A lot of people, obviously Von is constantly in shape. He keeps himself in pretty good shape. And I'm sure he'll be back a lot faster compared to other players, but I can see them, not wanting to risk it this week, give him a week to get ready and then play him the following week. Who do we have after actually Jacksonville? Is it the Patriots? Or no, we have the Giants. So it'll be a nice little warm up for him to play against the Giants that week. So on a Sunday night game, Bills that's back home in Buffalo. To have Von back in that week would be, be huge. So let's hold that off for that week. We don't really need him against Jacksonville. I think our D line's pretty solid right now. And plus, you got to figure out what they're going to do right now with the situation with Trey. Obviously, you have Kyrie Elam, but you're going to have to call up another cornerback too. So I was taking a look at the free agents right now. They're not looking too hot. So even Brett mentioning, making a trade, that could be something that they'll be looking at. I don't know how many teams will be trading cornerbacks because cornerbacks are like tackles right now in the NFL. So they'll have to find something to figure that out.
Do we have Alex Austin? Is he on the practice squad right now? Alex Austin or Jamarcus Ingram is? I know
he
that.
Got claimed. Alex Austin
did.
got claimed by somebody.
Yeah, he got claimed by
That's right.
Houston.
So Jamarcus Ingram
Houston,
probably be a likely option to be called up potentially. So yeah, it looks like that's actually. Oh, Kyron Brown as well is on our practice squad, but I would say most likely if you're going to call a corner up, it's going to be Jamarcus Ingram, UB guy. So rooting for him. He's played well in situations, so I like that kid a lot. But yeah, I agree. I think they'll probably hold Vaughn out and then maybe have a nice little warm-up game at home against the Giants on Sunday night. That'll be kind of fun. And against that offensive line, you saw what the Cowboys did against that O-line. Holy smokes. Evan Neal's going to have his hands full again.
The boys will be eating on that D-line.
Oh, yep. For sure. For sure. What else do we got here? My dad's saying the same thing. Do the Bills take 21 days to bring him back? I don't think it's going to be a full 21 days, but I do think they'll probably hold him out of this game because the D-line's been eaten up as it is, so you might as well give him a little extra time. Let's see. And that's really about it. I mean, Sam coming in, just saying Armstead's big injury for Miami for sure. That sucks. I feel so bad for them. Like, that's awful. Their O-line is kind of falling apart a little bit. You lose Connor Williams, you lose Taron Armstead. That was a big question mark coming into the season. You could talk to Keith, our guy from Nickel City Mafia, who joins us from time to time. Find him on the AFC East Summit. We'll be talking about that on Tuesday, I'm sure. But, curious to see what that injury looks like.
There was an update that came out. I just wanted to put this out here. The update on him was he was seen leaving the stadium on crutches. So it doesn't look too good, but you got to remember something, guys. We've seen other players leave games on crutches, and then they'll play the next week. Very well could happen that way. We've seen players end up in walking boots, and then that's just a precautionary tale. Maybe right now he just can't put pressure on it. He's an older player. He's had 3 injuries over this week, was questionable coming into the game as well. Maybe the Dolphins decide to hold him out a game or two, and then he comes back. But it's hard to see for a player that's got so much talent, and he's somebody that protects to his blind side, and I want to see him out there on the field. I really do. And you never want to see an injury happen on the field. Hopefully he gets back healthy and gets back on the field because that's where he belongs out there, is on that field and taking care of Tua out there as well.
Yeah, it sucks. At least they have Kendall Lamb as their backup. He's an 8-year vet. He's been around the league for a little bit, been on the Dolphins for a few seasons now. He's, serviceable for sure, but he's like their version of David Quessenberry, if you will. So it's not going to be anything too crazy, but can get the job done. All right, boys, let's go into some stats here. Let's talk about this game a little bit more in depth. Josh Allen, perfect rating today, 158.3 rating. Probably the best game I've ever seen him play as a pro. Ends up going 21 of 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. When you throw the same amount of incompletions as you do touchdowns, that's a hell of a day. That does not happen often, and that fires me up, man. Let me tell you. Timmy, what are we seeing from the young man, Josh? How you feeling about it? You got to be absolutely ecstatic out there in Maine right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely in enemy territory right now. I'm sitting here. I was at a Patriots fan's house today watching the game, and he was talking about Bailey Zappi. I was like, hey, man, let me tell you, I lived with the Bills when E.J. Manuel was the starting quarterback, and we were begging for Jeff Toole. So, I think Tony Romo kind of hit it great during the broadcast today. When Josh Allen is not looking away from his checkdowns anymore. He's making all his reads, and if he has to throw down to the checkdown, he's willing to throw down to the checkdown right now. He's just giving what the defense is going to give him, and that's nice to see for a change, just because now you're seeing guys like Deontay Hardy getting involved in the game. Trent Sherfield was involved in the game. My guy, Khalil Shakir, was involved in the game. Everyone's getting the ball right now.
He almost had a big catch, too. David Tyree style, too. That was awesome.
No, but it's good to see that. Gabe Davis had a tutter, and then also – at the end of the day, Stephon Diggs, man, he is just, as our friend Matt would like his favorite word, he calls his wife consistent. Stephon Diggs is consistent constantly. 120 yards, 3 tutters. This guy he is a man amongst boys. I just love it. After every catch he makes, he'll stand over guys. He walks the walk, he talks the talks. He is, the type of player that the Bills needed, and he kind of balances off, Josh Allen. That happy-go-lucky type of guy. Stephon Diggs gets on the field, all business. Off the field, all business. Just a guy who's going to come in style. That's just a perfect couple right there between those two. So, Josh Allen, like I said, it's a huge difference that you see from week one. And it was nice to see he kind of turned around himself very fast, take those check downs, beat him up short and then, hit him deep when they give you that opportunity.
That's only helping Steph too, because it keeps the defense honest. And let me tell you, Kadir Kehu had his hands full today. Felt bad for him. He is traditionally a nickel corner. So playing outside like that is really tough. And then you got to guard Steph Diggs. There's no chance in hell that's going to happen. So, yeah, another big day. Steph plays so angry, too, man. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
The attitude, the grit, that's exactly what this offense needs. It gives us juice. And, dude, how about the run after catch today on that touchdown? I mean, it was just incredible to see. 55 yards. I mean, guy goes off, has a turkey for touchdowns today. I mean, can't really say much more about it. And it helps his yards per catch average a little bit, averaging 20 yards per catch today. He was a little lower, low 11s, I think, coming into this game. So love seeing that as well. Little stat boost.
Do you think he still wants to be traded?
No, hell no. He loves this team. I don't think he ever wanted to be traded, period. People were speculating quite a bit in the offseason, like, hey, this is going to be the end of the line for Steph. He's going to be out of Buffalo before week 5. Guess what? It's week 5 coming up. So Steph is alive and well. 3 of 4 games, over 100 yards. Every game he's had 6 or more catches, I believe. So it's just been a beautiful thing, man. So excited about it. And how about Gabe Davis, boys? Another big day from him. Ends up 3 catches, 61 yards, and a tutter. And that really got the game started off. And that was a freaking rope that Josh threw. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, wide open. I mean, just awesome, man. Contract year for Gabe. I said he was going to have 1,200 yards this year. Brett, do we re-sign Gabe Davis? How are we feeling about that?
I would love to re-sign Gabe Davis, and I'm going to be the first advocate to say this. Gabe Davis fits exactly what Buffalo needs in the number 2 wide receiver for the team. He's a great blocker, and not only does he do that, he's also a mismatch when it comes to being on the outside. He helps guys around him. He makes it so that Stephon Diggs can do his job as well. Because when you're not targeting Stephon Diggs, you're going after Gabe Davis. And he also helps out Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox over the middle. So I say, yes, you got to re-sign him. If the contract's right, that's great. If it's going to be around that $20 million range, then that's what worries me about him.
Yeah.
I do think that he wants to stay in Buffalo. That's the area that he really likes. And he's a UCF kid. The things that are important to him are exactly what's important to Jake and probably Tim. I don't really know Tim as well, but I know it's important to Jake. But the things that are important to him are family, football, and God. So I can tell you right now, he also wants to win. And this is a team that you can take a hometown discount. You're probably going to get very deep in the playoffs when you're playing with Josh Allen. Now, you got to remember something about Gabe Davis, though. He does have a new nickname called Grape Davis. I'm trying to figure out how that really came about. It's kind of cool how the story came about.
Josh just pulls his shirt up. Yeah.
Josh pulls his shirt up. I'm trying to still figure that out. It kind of confuses me a little bit. Timmy, do you know a little bit about that story or no?
I'll be totally honest with you. I don't know too much. I was in Philly for training for work last week, so I've been disassociated from the world for a while.
I'll give you the background. The whole background on it is the Buffalo Bills social media account. Whoever runs that, totally out of pocket. I freaking love it. Those guys are wild. They think a little outside the box. So coming off practice, they're handing these guys a drill. So they want to see, are you going to do the right thing? When you get handed the drill, are you going to do what a normal man does when he gets handed a drill? And listen, I'll admit, I was thinking it. I knew exactly what to do with the drill. I'm not the most handy guy in the world, but I know when you get a drill in your hand, you go, zzz, zzz, that's what you have to do. You got to put it up to the ear, make sure it spins a little bit. You feel good. You hear that sound. You feel the trigger, the pull, the feel in your hand. It's a beautiful thing. Listen, I can't swing a hammer, but I can operate a drill. It's a beautiful thing. Again, Josh Allen gets handed this drill, and then he does it, and then at the end of it, he pulls up his shirt, and it says Grave Davis on it. And that's kind of where that all started. I don't know what that was all about, but hell of a nickname for Gabe.
Grave Davis or
It's Grape
Grape
Davis.
Grape or grave?
It's Grape. It's got a giant
Grape.
grape on the shirt and everything, which I don't understand how it came about. Like, if maybe, like, I don't know if it's that he likes grape, juice or something like that. Maybe that's what it could be. But he's just been called Grape Davis. I think it was the week before when we won. Like, they posted this thing about Gabe Davis, and it was like Dawson Knox was on it, then Gabe Davis was on it, but they were like poking fun at Dawson Knox, and then like Gabe Davis comes on, and he's smoking a pipe and everything, and then he does this thing where he does the cat call, and then he comes up with the Grape Davis shirt, and I'm like, what the hell is this all about? Like, I don't get it. So, Bills Mafia, if you know what we're talking about, let us know what it is.
Give us some insight onto that.
I need to get some insight on it. I just don't understand what exactly it is. It's cool as hell, though. I think it's funny. And I would love to get a shirt of it. I just think it's funny. It's something
we all need shirts. Yeah, I think we all need to rebrand that and maybe put it in the Nickel City Mafia version. I think that'd be freaking incredible. But you talked about Dawson Knox. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this rare Corey Knox shout out, the real Fort Knox. Now, Corey Knox was a fullback who played for the University of Buffalo back in the day, Timmy. I don't know if you remember him or not, but actually stood outside Bill's headquarters with a sign, trying to get a workout. So shout out to him. He was in the, I think there was a blizzard that day too, and he was standing out there just shirtless, trying to get a tryout. Shout out to him for doing that. But his nickname was Fort Knox. I'm going to give that nickname to Dawson Knox. Fort Knox. This guy's out here just muscling his way, absolutely bullying Javon Holland. It was his only catch of the day, but what an impact that made, man. Gave us a little more juice on offense there. Was tremendous in the run blocking game today. I think, we got two really good tight ends there. Really, really happy with what both of them are doing. Definitely thought we'd see more involvement from both of them. I mean, Dalton Kincaid finishes the game with 4 catches, 27 yards, but I felt like all of his catches were very meaningful. Like, they all mattered. So talk to me a little bit about that, Timmy. What do you think about the two tight ends? Do you want to see some more involvement from them? Are you happy with how they've been utilized, or underwhelmed? Give me some more insight to that. And what do you think we're going to do moving forward with them?
I mean, at this point, you don't want to fix what's not broken. The offense is moving fine right now. You have a running game. You have receivers who are catching the ball. Obviously, you want to see a little bit more production out of your tight ends. You're paying Dawson a little bit of money, but he had a good catch today, and he ran over a guy and got that extra yardage.
Oh, love it.
Dalton Kincaid, he's getting you your first down on short yardage plays too. I think I was listening to WGR today at the after show with your boy Nate Geary, and there's people who are actually concerned about Dalton Kincaid right now. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? He's a rookie. I mean, I think there's a lot of hype for him during training camp, and all the reporters be like, this guy's gonna be involved. He's getting the ball all the time. He's automatic all the time, which he has caught almost every pass that's came his way, and he's been playing well. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time. He's still a rookie. He's still learning the offense. He's coming from the Pac-12. He's coming from Utah. Not very relatable to an NFL defense. So he's still kind of learning the game. And I think once we get into those colder months, you're going to see more involvement of the tight ends in the offense. Your offense. I think the big thing last year too, and I always complained about Ken Dorsey, was we had a very vanilla offense. You saw the same offense every single week. I think this year you're going to see more of the involvement of the offense, where you're going to see maybe into late October, early November, more tight ends involved. Then going back to receivers, you got to keep teams on their toes right now. And right now, like I said, let's not try to fix something that isn't broken. Just keep the offense rolling, and they're going to get involved. Don't worry about it. There's a reason why they drafted Kincaid, why they wanted to do a 12 personnel. They're going to get involved. I'm not going to rush it. It's going to happen.
I mean, I've seen a lot of 13 personnel even out there. You got freaking Quentin Morris out there too. I love it, man. The more tight ends you can use in an offense, I think the more mismatches you generate. So, yeah, I will echo what you said there. While the stats don't really show, I think both of those guys being on the field, you feel the impact. And it's really awesome, man. I mean, Dalton Kincaid has been a very good safe blanket, and he's caught literally everything that's been thrown to him. And then Dawson Knox is just a juice guy in general. I mean, he brings the energy all the time, and you could feel it. While he may only catch 1 or 2 passes a game, either it's a touchdown or it's a big play where he's like stiff arming a guy or running someone over. So it's awesome, man. What were you going to say, Brett? Sorry.
I was going to say that I felt like this was a game where the Bills could have relied on Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox over the middle. We talked about it in the pregame show with Sean Kula from the Red, White, and Bills. We talked about it, and we said that Vic Fangio's defense is susceptible to the over-the-middle passes, and I just felt like Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox was going to get involved more. But this was a game where, it really came down to the Bills having to rely on the run game and take some time off of the clock and limit the amount of possessions that you saw with Tua and the offense getting off on the field, which I think Buffalo did a phenomenal job of utilizing that 12 personnel. And Ken Dorsey, hats off on the play calling that he did today. It was incredible. Absolutely A-plus performance from him. They utilized the tight ends in blocking situations. And you talked about it, Jake, where you said, you saw Dawson Knox, you saw Dalton Kincaid, you saw Quentin Morris. They all got involved in the run game. The one player, and I'm going to say it right now, Jake, that we haven't seen a lot of lately, Reggie Gillum. That kind of breaks my heart, man, for you.
He was out there for a few plays. He was
out there for a few plays, but his name isn't being talked about, and he's going under the radar, which kind of bothers me a little bit. I want to see him get more involved in the offense as well, become a blocker out there as well. And I thought that maybe he would be battling Quentin Morris out there on the field too for the third tight end position. But we haven't seen a lot of him out there on the field, which, it kind of bothers me. I want him to be out there for you, man, because you got that 41 jersey. You're one of the only guys that I know of that's got that jersey. It's so valuable for you. Want to see him out there on the field and getting involved in the game. But, I'm okay with what the Bills did with their tight ends today. You cannot go wrong with what you saw. We had the run game getting going. We saw Damian Harris get involved. We saw Latavius Murray get involved. And then you saw James Cook. And I did see a couple of plays, which I absolutely loved. It was down near the goal line where you saw Quentin Morris. He was going after a guy, and then one of the players was kind of went after him late in the game, or late after the play, I'm sorry. And Quentin Morris got pissed off and got up in his face and everything. It was like, dude, you need to stop your shit and quit what you're doing.
I think I actually said to the TV, I'm like, no stupid penalties. Don't be an effing idiot. Yeah.
Well, no stupid penalties in that situation, but I want to bring this up. I love the fire. Don't get me wrong, but I want to bring up a good situation, guys, because this is we're probably near the end of the show and we haven't brought this up yet. And maybe we can turn this into a little snippet that we can do, a little short that we can talk about. Let's talk about Christian Wilkins and what he did out there on the field to our boy Josh Allen, and the amount of disrespect that he has done to Josh Allen over the last couple of games. I mean, if you're a Bills player, how do you not jack his ass up and just go after him? If somebody's going after your quarterback and, late hits and stuff like that, how do you not just, at least shove him? But you didn't see a shove. You didn't see anything from the Buffalo Bills. Maybe that's Sean McDermott just saying, hey, let's play within ourselves. But I'm sorry. If I'm freaking Rex Ryan, as a head coach, damn well I'm going to be throwing fists or something like that on the field, getting ejected. You got to remember, we're going to be going to the same tunnel after that, just like we saw with Shaq Lawson and Leonard Fournette. We're going to be fighting when we get to the tunnel too. And it's not going to end there. We're going to go to the locker rooms. We're going to come out of the locker rooms together and we're going to fight again. Because you're not leaving Buffalo without, knowing that, hey, you're not going to F with my quarterback. That's my guy. That's the one player that you don't F with.
Street fighting between the whistles, baby. Jeff Brom said it best. And so it was Andrew Van Ginkel who headbutted Josh. And then after that, Josh kind of said something to Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins does live rent-free in Josh Allen's head. I will say that. He gets under Josh's skin. And the stuff that he does under the pile, Josh talks about it. He twists nuts and stuff like that. And he does a lot of stuff that's dirty. And it happens. It's football. What do you expect? I mean, I think it's just guys being smart and not doing something totally out of pocket. But I totally get where you're coming from, Brett. I mean, you want to see those guys get after a player that's trying to taunt your quarterback and, potentially injure him. So,
well, there's 2 plays that I saw out there today, and Timmy, you can probably relate to these plays. You saw them as well. There's 2 plays where I saw with Christian Wilkins where he used his shoulder to go at Josh on a 3rd down. Josh kind of flopped on the play. It wasn't really a flop, I would say.
Yeah.
He kind of showed that, hey, like, you're hitting me, like, the ball's out. What the hell? And the refs didn't call that play. I get the situation, but that's just kind of like, hey, when the ball's out, you don't touch the quarterback. That's the situation. That's an unwritten rule in the NFL that you go with. The ball's out.
Any other quarterback? I've never seen a quarterback get hit that late and not have a flag called.
Exactly. And then the play before, there was another situation where it was Christian Wilkins that was the one that initiated it too. So if you go back and look at the all-22, Jake, you'll see that there's 2 plays in a row where Christian Wilkins and Josh Allen got involved. It was Christian Wilkins that did something late as well. And that's what pissed Josh Allen off, is he kind of like put his hands on Josh, and Josh didn't like it. He's like, get your hands off me, bro. This is not how we're playing. We're not going to do this crap.
Yeah.
So you look at that, and that's what pissed me off. But I'm going to let Timmy get involved in this as well. I know he.
Yeah, talk to us, Timmy. Talk to us. I know your feelings on Christian Wilkins.
Come on, you got to talk about this.
I mean, Josh Allen's your daddy, Christian Wilkins. I mean, we just stomp you every single time that we face you. Yeah, you had that one game last year. We had the heat going on. But, I mean, that's all he's got. He's just going to take some late hits, dirty hits on Josh Allen, talk trash to Josh Allen after the play. That's great. Good luck. Guess who got the W on the board? Honestly, I wish sometimes the Bills would just step on throats, curb stomp the other team. They should have been putting up more points on them. And honestly, this is what happens when you're the best team in the AFC East. Guess what? AFC East, you're put on notice again. Who are the Patriots? Bunch of nobodies. Who are the Jets? Bunch of nobodies. Who are the Dolphins? A bunch of divas. I mean, Kansas City is not the same team as last year. Kansas City is going to start off a little bit slow. Maybe they'll come up towards the end of the season. But guess what? Right now, like I said earlier, they're not at that tier 1 level that the Bills are playing at right now. They're kind of still slow, that Super Bowl hangover. But guess what? The AFC East runs through the Buffalo Bills. Until a team proves that, just go have fun playing with the freshman kids down in the freshman league right now, because you're not here with the big boys. So I don't care what Christian Wilkins does. Yeah, he's a dirty guy. He does his stuff. He's the same guy that did a split after the Clemson championship game back in college. He's that type of character. He's always been a trash talker. He's always been dirty. Just got to get used to it. At the end of the day, Josh Allen has to say, hey, I'll tuck you in bed later tonight.
Oh, let's go. Hey, Mike,
pacifier
I want you to cut that. Cut that for a short, please. We got 2 shorts out of Timmy on the show. It's incredible. And yes, as Mike says, please be sure to hit that like, comment. We do appreciate the support from everyone out here in the chat. Want to pull up the chat too. We missed a couple comments here. So, Mike, just talking about Josh rolling to his right. We know. I mean, Brett, you said it best. What's the quote again? When Josh rolls to the right.
It was actually Mike that brought it up. He said, when Josh rolls to the right, it's a delight. And I changed it a little bit around, and I said, when Josh rolls to the right, everything's all right.
Oh, I like that. So. Yes. And it sure was. I mean, that was beautiful. Tony Romo saying, throw the ball away, throw the ball away. Josh looks like he's throwing the ball away, but no, instead he's got James Cook running up the sideline there. Takes it 48 yards. It was a thing of beauty.
Did you guys watch any of the Patriots game today?
Yeah.
It was an absolute nightmare.
I mean, Mac Jones tried to throw the ball across his body, and you don't realize what type of athlete Josh Allen is. Like Mac Jones, it's kind of pathetic, but Josh Allen just ripped that ball right across the field. Mac Jones throwing a lollipop, and he got picked off the other one barely reached Kendrick Bourne on there. Just saying.
Crazy. You saw the magic today, dude. It's insane. Like the way he extends plays and keeps things alive. No other quarterback's doing that. There's maybe 1 to 2 quarterbacks that can do that. It's Josh Allen and maybe Pat Mahomes. Other than that, not a lot of other guys are doing that. We are blessed with a rare talent and a Hall of Fame talent at that. I'm going to say it right now. I mean, he is legitimately one of the most talented guys at the quarterback position to ever play in this league. It's incredible. Really incredible. What else here? We got what's with Josh Porn. Mike, I'm going to do this live on our show. I feel like I got to do it now after I saw Josh. I'm going to put my own little spin on it, though. Maybe some Barbell medium sauce mixed with a regular Pepsi. We're going to spin it around. I'll do a live taste test on our next show. How about that?
Sounds like a heart attack.
Sure does. But my diet's already crap as it is, Timmy, as you know. So not much I could do to my body that'll make it even worse. So it's all good.
Are you gonna mix it with a celery stick or no?
Yeah. Oh, you gotta. Yeah, we're doing the whole works, man.
Gotta get something healthy in there.
For
Oh,
sure.
God.
For sure. Negative
Yeah, no.
calories too, by the way.
No.
So no big deal.
Absolutely not.
James Collins, thank you for joining us, James. I think you've been on the show a few times before. I do recall you being on one of our more recent shows, but thank you for joining us. If Josh keeps up this pace of play or pace of control play, he will win. He will win MVP this year. I definitely believe that. I think his name is definitely back right on top there for the MVP race, especially with how he has this offense ticking. It's a thing of beauty. Mike saying the same thing. And James also saying, I want to see Dalton Kincaid get more catches, especially in the red zone. But I love the fact that the team is more balanced. Absolutely. I mean, we had 8 different receivers catch passes today, and we would have had 9 had Khalil Shakir brought in. Now, that was a really tough catch, but an absolutely incredible throw by Josh Allen. That would have been a really nice play. But yeah, I agree. We haven't seen a whole lot of red zone usage from the tight ends, and that's something, I expect to see some more of. One thing we have seen a lot of usage out of is our running backs and James Cook. And how about Latavius Murray, the 33-year-old dog out there, 6'3", 230 pounds, still looking like he could run that 4.3 40 that he used to run. Guy was electric today, and he brought the juice again. Really got us going on offense on that initial drive. So, Timmy, how are we feeling about Latavius Murray, man? Is he our number 2 back for sure? Damian Harris actually looked good too, but how about Latavius?
I mean, Latavius Murray brings that experience. He was a freight train out there. He made that one catch along the sideline and just kept on chugging along. He's not he doesn't want to go out. He stays in bounds, keeps on going. The guy's just an absolute stud at 33 years old. I complained about him a couple of years ago because I had Alvin Kamara on my fantasy team. He's taking away all my touchdowns. I'm like, what the heck now? But I'm glad he's on our team right now. I see him as a number 2 back. Honestly, Damian Harris has looked good too. All of our running backs have looked solid, and this is the first time that I feel very comfortable with our running backs. Even our offensive line, like I said, it looks pretty good too. So I don't know if it's one or the other, but it's nice at least that we have James Cook as a running back who, I think all of our running backs can catch the ball out of the backfield. Latavius Murray and James Cook, they can get that yards after the catch. And that's something that we didn't have with Devin Singletary or Zach Moss. So now we have some solid guys in the backfield. And like I said, if that's working in the red zone, don't fix what isn't broken. Until that starts slowing down, keep it going. Obviously, you want to see Dalton Kincaid get his first touchdown, and maybe that once he gets that monkey off his back, you'll see more production out of him. But right now, just keep on doing what you're doing and keep on going.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, just looking at the running back stats, Latavius Murray was actually our leading rusher today. 4 carries, 32 yards, 8 yards a carry. James Cook with 12 for 29, 2.4 average, 1 touchdown. Really tough touchdown run from him. Not really his game running inside the trenches like that, but I thought he did a really good job. And Tony Romo talked about it on the broadcast. The biggest defense or the biggest difference we are seeing with this offense is the fact that we can actually run the football in specific situations. And let me tell you, man, you got to give it to the guys up front. Brett, we love talking O-line stuff, and I'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little O-line tonight, especially for our boy Sean Kula, who was at that game and was just raving about how good that O-line was. What'd you think about today's performance from those guys up front?
Absolutely great performance from the offensive line. I got to say, even though we gave up a couple of sacks, which, the streak is over. We had 2 games in a row where we had 0 sacks given up. Great numbers that I saw from the Buffalo Bills. I think they did a phenomenal job keeping Josh upright. And also in the run blocking game, I loved what I saw from guys like Osiris Torrance. Connor McGovern was getting involved as well. And there's one play that kind of gave me a little bit of a head scratch, which I do think that it was the wrong call, and it was a bad call that the referees got. It was a play where David Edwards came in as that 6th lineman. That play, I saw him before the play even happened that he put his hand up. Referees didn't see it happen, and he got called for it. But unfortunately, that is what it is. You got to report. You got to make sure that you do it the right way. Maybe the ref didn't see it. You got to make sure that the ref sees it, and that's what it comes down to. So absolutely loved what I saw from the Buffalo Bills on offense as far as the offensive line. Really good things, and I think it's going to be even better as the year comes on. And I want to get back into, you're talking about the running backs as well.
Yeah.
It was so important what Tony Romo said out there. And he mentioned that, in Buffalo, you play in these bad weather games. And later in the year, that's what's going to happen is we're going to play in games where the snow gets involved. And the way that I think Buffalo runs is, or not runs, I shouldn't even say that because I'm kind of getting into what I'm saying. But the way that the offense of Buffalo should be established is by setting up that run and getting it going in September, because you know how important it's going to be in November and December and January.
Yep.
It's going to be the best thing that you can see. Defenses are going to get tired. You're going to be up in games as well. Let's get the run game going. Let's get James Cook cooking. Let's get Latavius Murray involved as well. He's only 33 years old, but boy, does he look like a 23-year-old out there running that ball around, just bullying people around there. And then you got the bruiser and the guy that I call, the Mike Tyson of our defense, or of our offense, I'm sorry, that can take the top off of defenses in Damian Harris as well. And this offense is going to be great with that 1-2-3 punch that we have. And then you bring in Josh Allen with his legs as well. And it just gets even sweeter, and it's just the icing on the cake. So I'm going to turn it over to one of you guys, and I'm going to say that right now.
I'll say this. I think last year, Josh Allen was like our leading rusher in maybe 12 of 17 games. And this year, I don't think he's been the leading rusher once. So it is a great thing to see, man. 4 carries, 17 yards for Josh. And really, he had a somewhat of a decent, like 13-yard touchdown run. Spencer Brown was the lead blocker on that. By the way, another good day from him. Love to see it, man. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really a nice luxury to have, and it's something that we really haven't had in the past. Vic Fangio's defense invites you to run the football a little bit, and I think we kept them really honest today. And while we didn't average a ton of yards per carry with James Cook, I think it was enough to let the other guys eat. And Latavius Murray, again, 4 carries, 32 yards. Damian Harris, 6 for 29. And James himself, 12 for 29. So nice day from the guys there. They did enough to get it done and, allow us to spread the ball on offense in the passing game. It was awesome, man. So let's see here. Catch up on a couple more comments. James saying he's more about the secondary going forward, given the fact that Trey White again out. Yeah, it's tough, man. MRI is supposed to be tomorrow. I'm sure it's not going to be good. Probably a torn Achilles, which unfortunate. We were talking about who might come up from the practice squad. Obviously, you'd probably activate Kyer Elam now moving forward. Whether he's going to be the starter, probably not. It's probably going to be Dane Jackson and Christian Benford. But at least we do have a first-round pick that is played in meaningful games that can come in and rotate. They were talking about how the Bills eat throwing to the outside. Only possible due to the arm strength. Absolutely. Yeah, no other quarterback is making those throws, Mike. 100% well said there. And the Chiefs are on upset alert. We got an update on that score?
It is 20-all right now. The game just got back on right now, so we'll see where the ball is being placed at in just a second. So the Chiefs have the ball inside their 10-yard line right now, but there's 7 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Just got a first down, moved the ball down to about the 28-yard line.
Love it. Hey, man. It sounds like a good game. That's all you really could want. I mean, it's not a blowout, and you want to see a primetime game be a good game. So,
yeah,
whether it's, the Jets playing or the Chiefs playing, I just want to see a good game of football. Now, of course, I'm always rooting against the Jets, but when you got the Chiefs on the other side of it, it's tough to root for either of them. Mike saying he loves our running backs. We have such a good 1-2-3 punch. Absolutely, Mike. Nyheim Hines, listen, I know we were really excited about the potential of using him this year, but bringing in Latavius Murray, what he's done for the offense, I think has been fantastic. And then James asking, hey, do you guys think Josh is this generation's John Elway? I think he's this generation's Brett Favre with legs. And I mean that in the best way. And I'm hoping he limits the turnovers as he has the last 3 games throughout the rest of the year, because what he's doing with it, it's a more mature version of Josh Allen. He's taking what the defense gives him, and he's not making those erratic, crazy hero ball throws like he's done in the past and like he did in the first game. So it's a great thing, man.
Just hope he doesn't have the same post career as him.
Yeah, exactly. It's a train wreck. It does not look too pretty for him. Tom S. Double victory weekend. Hell yeah, Tom. It's a beautiful thing, man. Sabres preseason coming to an end here pretty soon. And Timmy going to be starting up that Sabres podcast. Don't want to miss him on there. I know Tom is a massive Sabres fan, so be sure to check him out Tuesday night. Him and Sam, the stat man. What time, Timmy?
8:30. We're working on the
8:30.
nicknames. Either Saucy Mitch Sam or Sam the Stat Man. We'll figure something out.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot, man. I'll be sure to tune in. You definitely know I'll be in the comment section on that one. Really excited for that one. But yeah, new show coming to Nickel City Mafia, Sabres Edge, guys. It's our new Sabres podcast. So be sure to tune in Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And Mike's saying Jets D doing a good job against Mahomes. 2 interceptions. Wow. Very uncommon that you see Pat Mahomes with multiple interceptions in a game. All right, guys. We are closing in on the hour and a half mark. Just want to highlight a couple other things. Obviously, the defense pulls up 4 sacks today. We had a forced fumble out of Matt Milano. I thought the safeties both played really well, Taylor Rapp and Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde getting another interception today. He did go into the blue tent for a second, but it came back out. I think it was just a hamstring thing. I don't know if it's going to be a thing where it's going to be lingering throughout the year. It seems like that hamstring has been an issue for him. But he's playing at a high enough level where it doesn't look like it's affecting him too much. So that's good. Obviously, Jordan Poyer did not play in this game. Taylor Rapp came in. I thought did a really good job today. Josh mentioned that in post game too. Thought Taylor Rapp played a really good game today. So you didn't see a lot of splash plays from him, but he did a lot in the run game. And I thought he came up and made some really good tackles today. 6 total on the day for him. So Matt Milano was the leading tackler with 10. Again, he had that forced fumble. And what a day from Dane Jackson, man. That was awesome to see. So encouraged, while we are discouraged from Trey White's injury, encouraged by Dane Jackson's play. And then special teams, man. Saran Neal, outstanding again. Got to talk about my boy. I'm a big Saran Neal guy. I thought he did a good job. Minus that one play where he pushed the one dude into Deontay Hardy, where we thought Deontay was going to be concussed. By the way, thought Deontay Hardy did a lot of good things today. Nothing crazy stat-wise, but the plays that he made today really mattered. So also a great thing. But I want to give it to Brett to give some closing thoughts. We're going to wrap this show up here as we're closing in the hour and a half mark. But Brett, any other thoughts on this game? Anything you want to talk about, talking future, any predictions, etc.?
No, I don't want to get into predictions. It's a little too early for that. We still have our pregame show that we're going to do. And listen, we're into week 5. It's probably the best week for Nickel City Mafia. You got the Andre Reed thing going on this week, which is going to be great. The meet and greet that you're going to get with Andre Reed in London. Travel over to London, and we're going across the seas, which is always great. I just can't wait to see this game and see this team again next week. Like you said earlier, Jake, you mentioned it. Starting the week off with a win, I mean, the week goes by so fast, and by the time it's Thursday, I'm ready for football again, and I'm excited for football again. So it's always great to kick off the week with a win, because when it comes down to Monday and we have to go to work, I'll tell you, there's the first week when we lost to the Jets, I came into work and I'm all pissed off.
Grim.
I mean, so I had a great day at work on that Monday, because we were ripping out a shower in one of my dad's friends' places. And I told the guy, he's a Jets fan, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, every freaking wall is coming down in this bathroom. I don't care what you say. And I took a sledgehammer and just pounded it on everything you could possibly imagine. I was so mad that we lost that game. And, I'm working with my dad, helping him out. He's having hip surgery. So he's going to have hip replacement surgery right before the wedding, which is it's great that he's doing it. I'm glad he's getting healthy and everything. But,
prayers out to Mr. McDurf for the hip surgery, man. I hope it goes well for him.
It's going to be fine. It's October 18th that he's having surgery. It's going to be fine. He'll be fine, get back to normal, and be able to actually walk right. So the way that I'll get into it a little bit, the way that his hip is and the way that it affects his foot, actually, his foot is supposed to go straight. Right now it curves to the right, actually. So I'm showing it as the left on here. So it would be that way is his foot right now.
Yeah.
So it's turning out to the right, and it's affecting the way that he walks, and is putting pressure on his hips so much that he's having trouble even walking right now. It's gotten horrible.
Man.
So I'm helping him out at work. It's been great. You know, we get to hang out, talk this crap and everything, talk about the Buffalo Bills again and do our thing. And we get into working and everything. It's great. Except for when we lose, it's always bad because I show up with a nasty attitude and he knows that it has to be a demo day on that day. But when it is a demo day, it's freaking
Bill's
great.
lost demo day. Yeah, I love
demo
that.
Day. It just has to be that way. You know, we'll rip something apart. We'll do whatever it takes, get it done and everything. And then we rip apart a bathroom or something like that. And we're just like all pissed off and we get it done in like, you know, it's supposed to take us 8 hours. We get it done in 3 hours because we're just freaking hustling through this. We're like, son of a bleep. And this is this and this. And we're just our attitude.
Water lines.
Oh, we haven't hit a water line yet. That's good. Thing.
That's good.
Yeah, we know what we're doing, which is great. Because he'll tell me, he's like, hey, don't hit that right there because if you hit it, you're going to have water all over you. You might have some poop all over you too, which can happen. I haven't had it happen yet, which is great, but it could happen. But it's good to see. And I mean, our friend is just talking crap to us the whole entire time that we're doing this. He's sending us texts saying, you know, hey, you know, the Jets are doing good this year. You know, they're 1-0. They're going to win the division and everything. And he's talking all this crap out there, Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'll send you a picture after the show. And in the next show, I'd like to put a side-by-side of him and Robert Saleh because the two of them look
exactly you showed me this.
Alike. He's 6'5", and he's like 270 pounds. The dude looks exactly like Robert freaking Saleh. I'm telling you, you know, could be his twin brother. It's just funny to see him. So it's always bad when we get a loss because he knows that it's not going to be a good day, but it's also going to be a productive day too. So I'll say
that's always good. Hey, always extract the positives, right? By the way, guys, Brett, you could find him on a lot of different shows. We appreciate you joining us again tonight. I know you don't have to do this, and I always appreciate your time, brother. It's always good to hash it out, talk about the game, especially after a big victory like this. Again, the Bills pulling off a monster win against the Dolphins, 48-20. And thank you again. You can find Brett at the Go Bills Podcast YouTube channel. You can find him at their website. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook, and you can find him on our channel. He does the Red, White, and Ruthless show. Him and Sean co-host that, or Sean from Red, White, and Bills, and then obviously Brett. And then also the AFC East Summit, which he does a tremendous job hosting that as well. Not sure who's hosting this week. We'll talk about that, but you can find him there as well. So thank you again, brother. I really appreciate it.
Dude, anytime you need me, I'm always available. You know that. You're just like a brother to me. You know, absolutely appreciate you. And Timmy, always great to work with you, man. I know this is
this is awesome. Is this the first time
you've
been with Timmy?
Yeah, I wish we could get to talk you in here talking a little bit more. I'm sorry that I'm taking up the whole entire show, man. But I got to say, you know, I'm excited to see you on the Sabres Edge. It's going to be great.
Sabres Edge, baby.
It's going to be a great show as well. I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, a couple more days before Sabres hockey and hockey gets back into things. Going to be incredible to see. And can't wait for an awesome season for the Sabres. And, you know, I hope you have a career as long as Rick Jenneret as well. So,
let's go. Hey.
If you can be on the podcast for 50 years and doing this thing and everything, man, I would absolutely love it because, you know, you bring some insight to the game that's incredible as well. And listen, Bills Mafia as well as Sabres fans, you got to check out this new show with Timmy as well. I'm trying to remember who the other guy is that's hosting as well. I'm drawing a blank on it, but
Sammy Sauceman.
We got
Sammy Sucky Mitts.
Yeah, we got all these guys that are on the Nickel City Mafia now. I got to remember names. I got Jeremy, got Chris, I got Jake, I got Mike. There's so many people that are involved. All the guys
Rick
from the AFC
East
Summit. Yeah, we got all these guys that we got here and trying to remember names and everything, but it's going to be incredible to see you out there, man. Cannot wait to have you on the team and be involved in this. And the Discord channel, guys, don't forget that as well. There's going to be a Buffalo Sabres Discord channel. Get involved in that. If you want to get involved in that, shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook, wherever the case may be, or go on the Nickel City Mafia's YouTube channel or Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case may be. Let us know that you want to get involved in that Discord channel. I'll set you up with Mike Fortin, who's the guy that runs that. He's incredible, and that channel is always popping. I get messages going off during the shows right now that there's messages popping off, and there's crap talk that we have going on as well. So it's great to see. But Timmy, cannot wait for the show, man. You're going to do an incredible job. You're going to be a good host. And if you need any advice whatsoever, don't hesitate to shoot me a message as well.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate that, Brett. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Sabres Edge, we're getting started, starting right when the Sabres are just about to peak and get that window open soon. So I'm excited about that. Sam, he's more of the analytics guy. I'm the old school thumper type of guy. So it's going to be a good mix right now. So, no, I'm really excited, and I appreciate all those great words. Brett, thanks for having me on here. And, thanks, hopefully we can bring in the same entertainment that you guys do on here as well. But yeah, just to hop back into just the Bills and my final thoughts, this is the team that we thought we were going to have last year, to be totally honest with you. They're winning games in all three phases of the game. They're playing offense, they're playing defense, and they're playing special teams, and they're letting things roll off their back. That first Jets loss, they just let it go. And now they're playing the game that they're supposed to be playing, and they're beating teams. Like I said in the comments in the show a couple of weeks ago, they're beating up these punching bag teams. They're getting warmed up. They're beating them by big measure scores. And heck, they weren't even letting up sacks either. This is the Bills team preparing for the postseason. I remember a Patriots fan back when they had Tom Brady. They didn't care about the regular season. Get me to the postseason. Yeah. That's where I am with the Bills right now. Just get me to the postseason, because that's what this is the preseason for the Bills. These next 13 games, just get it in there, and then we're ready to go. Because I think this year is definitely the big year for them. I know that we want to start a dynasty, but I think I'm on the same page as Jake. I'll give up anything for one Super Bowl than multiple years of just a good team. So I'm looking forward to it, looking for a good Bills season. And, I'm looking forward to a Sabre season. This is going to be it. I'm excited. I don't think I've seen as much talent on a Sabres team in such a long time, even the 05-06 team. So definitely come check us out. If you guys have some suggestions for the show too, we're starting at 8:30. We're trying to figure things out. And but Sam and I are open to a lot of suggestions. But, we'll see where this goes. But I think it's going to be a great show. We're going to make this entertaining. I'll bring in the hot takes too for that as well. So let's keep it rolling.
Oh, you're bringing the intensity. I can already feel it, Timmy. I freaking love it, man. Yeah, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on in Nickel City Mafia. Our channel is growing. When I started with us, we were at 67 subscribers. And just to see the journey of how our channel has grown is awesome. And now we're bringing in all these people in the chat here, too. We appreciate all of your support. We had PG coming out here saying, Josh Allen for POTUS. Couldn't agree more, man. That is the guy that I want leading everything, man. He's just killing it in all phases. Ben, thank you for coming out, saying hello. Josh Allen's new nickname, Big Smooth. I kind of like that. That's not too bad. And Mark, yeah, it's awesome, man. I was getting a little annoyed. I got to be honest with you. Listen, I respect all fan bases, but, I watched Sean on the Smoke Lounge, and I thought those guys did a really good job, all of them. But it was annoying to see in the comments all the trash-talking Dolphins fans, and I'm like, I cannot wait until the Bills get a big victory and we can just shut their mouths for a little bit. No disrespect. That's a hell of a football team. But it is very, very sweet right now to be on the other side of things, especially after we lost to them in Miami last year when I went down there and we got chirped like crazy walking out of that stadium. So, yeah, it's awesome, guys. Big, big victory for us, 48-20. The Bills take care of the Dolphins. If you liked our content, guys, be sure to drop a nickel on that subscribe button below. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to follow all of us on our social media platforms. Also, check out Sabres Edge. Check out the AFC East Summit. Check out the Red, White, and Ruthless and all of our other great shows that we have here on the Nickel City Mafia channel. We appreciate the hell out of all of you joining us tonight. Cheers, guys. And most importantly, go Bills.
Go Bills.